On February 28, 2026, foreign airstrikes hit Tehran, killing Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei. A nation engaged in a regional war instantly faced a power vacuum. The strikes reached into the regime's inner sanctum. Among the casualties was Zahra Haddad Adel, the wife of the leader's son, Mojtaba. This created an institutional crisis. The leader functions as the central node for Iran's military and political decisions, and that position had been removed during an active conflict. This triggered an 8-day scramble by the Assembly of Experts, the elected council of Islamic scholars responsible for appointing the supreme leader. Their priority was finding a successor to prevent the state from fracturing. By March 8, state media announced the outcome. The council had chosen Mojtaba Khamenei as the new head of state. The modern Iranian state was born in 1979 through the overthrow of the Pahlavi monarchy. 50 years after that revolution, power has passed directly from a father to his son. To maintain stability during the war, the regime chose a security-first transition, effectively transforming the republic into a dynasty. Mojtaba Khamenei possesses a unique resume for a head of state. He has almost no public political footprint, rarely appears on camera, and has never held elected office. He did not build his position through public outreach. Instead, he worked within the hidden architecture of the state, managing closed institutions and loyalty networks. For decades, he was the gatekeeper to his father's office. He managed information flow, dictating which intelligence reports and officials gained access. By filtering what reached the supreme leader, he directed security and political operations without facing public scrutiny. The Assembly of Experts selected the linchpin, who was already managing the daily mechanics of the Iranian system. His power base traces back to the final years of the Iran-Iraq War. For the regime's elite, this conflict was a formative era, a crucible where Mojtaba's core loyalties were firmly established. Those wartime connections linked him to the leadership of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, Iran's primary military branch, and the Basij, a massive paramilitary volunteer militia. He utilized this military support to manage domestic dissent. Mojtaba is widely linked to the crackdowns on reformists during the mass protests of 2005 and 2009. This influence was well known within political circles. In 2005, reformist leader Mehdi Karoubi wrote a public letter explicitly accusing Mojtaba of interfering in the election process. Beyond the military, he relied on a bureaucratic network rooted in the Alavi school in Tehran, a training ground for the regime's ideological elite. He furthered these ties by marrying into the Haddad Adel family. Gholam Ali Haddad Adel is a powerful figure in conservative politics, providing Mojtaba a direct link to the cultural and political establishment. His position is built on this alliance between the security apparatus and the conservative bureaucracy. To hold the office of supreme leader, a candidate must also demonstrate religious authority and scholarly standing. In the late 1990s, Mojtaba moved to the religious center of Qom. He began teaching advanced courses, a calculated step toward building the clerical credentials required for leadership. Critics within the religious establishment argue this elevation was accelerated by his father's loyalists to ensure he was eligible for the succession. Because his religious standing is disputed, his legitimacy rests heavily on his relationship with the military rather than on a clerical consensus. The anti-monarchy republic of 1979 has transitioned into a militarized dynasty. Mojtaba faces significant internal challenges. He lacks his father's history of public charisma. He is tied to the memory of violent crackdowns, and his appointment gives weight to the opposition's claim that the revolution has become what it once fought. He also faces external pressure, inheriting a regional war and the weight of international sanctions, including personal sanctions placed on him by the United States in 2019. Ruling from the shadows as a gatekeeper allowed for influence without personal risk. Now, as the head of state, Mojtaba faces the full exposure of public leadership in a time of crisis. Moving away from ideological persuasion, the Mojtaba era will likely rely on the blunt use of force to ensure the regime's survival.